Okay, I'm seeing my live. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm seeing my live. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. We're live. Welcome back. This is to be continued. I'm gonna do a weird, fun stream right around here. It is a hypothetical 2024 election between 28 election between JD Vance and Mark Cuban. Gonna do this, for funsies. I decided, you know what? Let's say 28 Democrats are like, let's run our own billionaire. So boom, we got Mark Cuban. Now for VPs, I chose Rubio for Vance's because right now it makes a little bit sense. Then for Cuban, I was debating between AOC, but I say do Warnock because I feel like that would go with the categories. So stop the screen sharing because we got some more or less some conditions we want to go over. Okay, so we use these margins. For safe margins, it would be between 15 to 12 points. Likely would be 12 to 6 points. Lean, 6 to 3 points. And until 3 to 0.1 points. Okay, actually for a second, let me bring up the results of the 24 election. We find the New York Times one, not the detailed one. Okay, so going back, we need to share the screen. So I'm going to fill out the safe states, starting with the Republicans. I think these are all no-brainer. Now for the Nebraska second, I think there was some talks about, merging that all together, but I'm going to assume that it still stays the same. And then entering the category for safe would be Florida and Texas. Because we'll pull up the results real quick. As we see, can we bring up by state? Oh. Now I'm going to have to go around the results between states. So Texas, we have Trump won it by at least. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, Texas here. R plus 14. If I hover it over here. No. So Texas is R plus 14. Florida is 13. It outvoted the Texas was right of Florida, which was interesting. So now going back to the map. So that's why I'm going to say the Texas and Florida into the safe. Now for a safe Democrat, Washington, I'm going to say California, Vermont, DC, Maryland, and then Delaware. Then obviously we got Maine's first. So now we go to likely. Now I think for likely we're going to. Oh, forgot. Went safe. There you go. Now likely Republican I have for 12 to 6 points. be Arizona and Florida, because go back to the results. Arizona was R plus 6. Nevada was R plus 3. But I want to bring up one big thing is Arizona and Nevada they have a heavy Hispanic population. Actually, I should go over because one important thing. We're doing this in scenarios. So we got the first one, which I'm going to call a neutral Republican victory. So the conditions are the Republicans they still retain the majority of the Senate with maybe like one seat pickup, either Georgia or Michigan. 2, the majorities in the House they switch. So the Democrats have a plus 2 seat majority. Trump's approval rating is between 48 to 60%. And then JD Vance's is higher than Trump's. So going back now, I should have started with that first. Going back, because of you who have the Hispanic ones, we got Ruba, who is a Hispanic, he's Hispanic, so we'll start there. And then, that part of North Carolina. Hold on. Let's see what North Carolina. Trump was an R plus 3 state. Now, one of the things that kind of impacted this state was the hurricane, but this time around, even if a hurricane did smash into it, it'll be better managed. So, I'm going to, No, I'm not. So let's go to, oh no, I forgot, likely. So the likely Democrat, that would be Oregon, Connecticut, New Jersey. No, not New Jersey. Rhode Island, and New York. Well, in Illinois. Because going back to these states, so for New York, we have it D plus 13. We saw some of the margins in there. I think they'll get shrink. From Rhode Island, I could see Rhode Island, maybe some in Oregon, and shrink too. But with those trends, especially in New York, I think it's going to continue to get red, but not to a point where it flips. Now to lean Republican, I'm going to put North Carolina in that. Plus Virginia, Pennsylvania. And that is it. Oh, I forgot. Colorado is likely Democrat. Now, Pennsylvania, that was about 1.7. Republicans seem to be still gaining voter registrations in there, so that's why. And I believe it's going to become, the redder out of the rest out states. So now for a lean Democrat, that would be Minnesota and and then Nebraska's second at large, and then Maine at large. Now for tilt Republican will be Wisconsin, Michigan, and I put New Jersey. New Jersey was a plus 6. Maybe not. But I'm going to say New Mexico because New Mexico does have a sizable Hispanic population that could potentially see it outnumbering the white liberal areas of Albuquerque. And then New Hampshire, because New Hampshire, that was a +3. It could theoretically flip. So now for the Democrats, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I don't think we can get over that northern hump yet. And then I'm going to put Georgia. Only reason, Warnock has a huge base down there. I believe he pastors MLK's church. He's the pastor there, so I believe that only he can probably win Cuban that seat again. Other than, I could see that translating to North Carolina, but for the first scenario, it's neutral. I still believe JD Vance will win over Mark Cuban, only because Cuban's not a strong candidate, nor is he a presidential material. And also, because this ticket is most likely will be a doubling down ticket, it'll just be boom, 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 boom. So yeah, so now going back on to the second scenario. Scenario 2, a Democrat landslide. Conditions: the economy collapses. Trump goes back on many of his campaign promises. The Republicans lose majority in the Senate. The Democrats gain a presidential majority in the House. And their approval rating goes kaplunk. I do want to give a note that this is extremely unrealistic. So this whole scenario is kind of unrealistic because who knows who's going to be the Democrat nominee in 28, but this scenario especially is unrealistic. So going back, Oregon will become safe. A lot of these Democrat leans will become safe. New Hampshire, we won. Boom. So now, total wipeout. Georgia will become a lean in the main margin. North Carolina will be barely won. But Vance will still win Nevada by a lean margin. But then Cuban will nearly win Arizona, Michigan, and then Wisconsin. And now I'm going to put Pennsylvania in that. That is the scenario for the total, Democrat sweep. 313 to 225. Now you could arguably just, Vance still wins Arizona. Still be the same. We'll just probably see more of a difference in the Rust Belt and these North Carolina and Georgia. So now on to the third and final scenario. I'm going to get set up real quick. So the third and final scenario will be, if the other one was a Democrat landslide, this third scenario is a Republican landslide. Conditions: the economy flourishes. So basically, the unemployment rate reaches new lows, becomes more people employed. The Trump's peace talks, they're able to create lasting peace. Everything goes down. The approval ratings, skyrocket. And Republicans, they maintain the majority in the House. and they gain 4+ seats. Again, this is unrealistic, but suspend disbelief. Because it's the Republican landslide, Nevada and Arizona, they become safe. Georgia becomes likely. North Carolina becomes safe. The entire Rust Belt becomes likely. And then, I still say in Illinois, Cuban would still take it because of Chicago. It'll still be narrow. The new states that will be added: New Mexico probably will be in the lean margin. Minnesota, toss up R, will tilt. Well, I have to look back at the parameters set. Okay, tilt Minnesota, tilt for Virginia, tilt for New Jersey, and tilt for New Hampshire, plus a tilt for Nebraska's 2nd district and Maine at large. And you even see tilt D New York, tilt D Oregon, likely Colorado, lean Connecticut, lean Rhode Island, likely in Massachusetts, likely Maryland, likely Delaware. Probably the only safe states that Democrats will even have would be Vermont and California and Hawaii. So you got 361 to 177. Again, this is unrealistic, but this goes to the scenario of a Republican wipeout, essentially. Now I'm using the term wipeout not in a negative, but in a positive term. So a Republican landslide. Boom. This is probably the maximum I could see happen. You could make a small argument that New York is tilt-R, but that's unrealistic. So that is the hypothetical 28 scenario between JD Vance and Mark Cuban. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is to be continued. Have a great rest of your day.